Good morning. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and fresh from a shower. There's an image to haunt you. How you doing? I can't believe it's Wednesday already. Where is this week going? What did I do yesterday? I didn't do a stand-up video because it was a very busy day. I had a lot to get through. I want to share two things with you today that are irrelevant to the project, but are nice things that I kind of want to celebrate. Because I think a little bit of the damage to my headspace creeps through, like the things that are weighing me down in all of this. So I want to make sure that I'm celebrating the good stuff too, that I'm actually bringing a positive vibe to all of this and not censoring it. I think there's this weird temptation we have to not talk too much about the good stuff that is happening at the moment, because it feels like we're kind of gloating while the world is having a lot of things going on, and the press cycle is all about the negativity. And the things that are happening, I'm not going to talk about it specifically, but there was an incident yesterday that's made world news, and rightly so, because it was a horrible thing that happened. And this isn't joining circles and singing Kumbaya, but I think it's good to focus on the positive things as well, if for nothing else than for my own well-being. So I had a really great experience yesterday. It doesn't happen all that often, but I had an audition cross my desk. That again, like I'm not searching out auditions at the moment, but I've just had these wonderful opportunities that have come to me while I've been doing the project, and I put together some concept audition audio for one of the roles, and the client came back and said, "Yep, look, no need to re-record. That's it. That's that character. Like, that's done." And it's always nice when that happens. It's a really good feeling. The other thing, and then we'll get to what I'm doing today, I promise. We'll get to what I'm doing today after that. But yeah, the other thing, and I've been meaning to talk about this for a while, I work with a personal trainer, an amazing personal trainer and all-round health professional. It's difficult sometimes to describe exactly what his specific role is. Like, I know if I went and looked at his email signature, I could get the words for it, but I couldn't tell you necessarily what that means. But Stuart McDonald is incredible, and the workout that he's set me for the moment is wonderful. And he said, "Oh, you might get this feeling of like alignment in your core some part of the way through this, because we work on a 6-week cycle, and I've just, for the last couple of weeks, I've just had the yummiest feeling. It's the only word I can think of to describe it, of just not rigidity, but just this feeling of energization just around the entire of my core. And when I walk around, I feel like there's this string in my head that's just pulling me up, and it's delightful. And I wanted to share that. It's been a gorgeous feeling. I think the things at the moment that have been really helping me are the things that are in my body that help me to feel something different. So food and exercise have been really big things for me at the moment. So that's been happening, and it's been really nice. And I think there's a couple of specific exercises that are about rotation under effort, that I think are the reason for it. And it's good. I wish that for you. I wish you a new yummy feeling in your body too. So what am I doing today? I've got a few things I want to get to today. I'm looking down at my notes because I wrote them this morning. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch a sound design video. It's all about sound designing cool robot effects that came through my inbox, because I think that's going to start digging into, following on from the mixing for location work, it's going to look at how sound design professionals use specific ways to color sound in order to get an effect, how they layer things up. So I've got that on my list for today. I'm going to continue my study with Verbalize. I've got a chunk of that I want to get through today. I am also going to, at some point today, hopefully, get my Alexa skills sending an example notification. I spent some time last night working through the permissions around enabling notifications, which was a bit of a rabbit hole. And it turns out that the Alexa skills client, the CLI thing that I use, has upgraded. So there was a little bit of malarkey around getting that onto the right version. So that was fun. So that's it for me today. I'm going to watch that sound design video and take some notes. I'm going to get a sample notification going, and There was one other thing, because that's two. Oh yeah, there's a prototype. Oh no, that's Verbalize. The Verbalize study was the other thing there. And to be honest, because I'm doing grocery shopping today, that's probably going to keep me full up. But there is one other thing that I wanted to talk about that came out of a consult that happened on Monday that's been really, really scratching my brain. And I think I talked about this last week, and I said I might cash in a chip on this. I think I'm going to cash in a chip on this next week, because one of the things that Alexander Swords, the awesome narrative designer / writer / guru with words that I'm working with, talked about or asked the question about is the medium that I'm working in and the affordances that it has, kind of branching out, moving beyond that epistolary narrative conversation. It was a great example of asking the wrong questions to get to the right answers. And one of the things that has occurred to me is I think that one of the interesting things, just leaning in conspiratorially so that, only you and me know this, only you and me hear about this, you, me, and the internet, But I think one of the things that could be really interesting with an Alexa skill is friction in the interface. Like if you're playing a real-time strategy and you tell your troops go over there, and your troops just suddenly break morale or run back in the other direction, that's frustrating. It's not fun. If you're playing a point-and-click adventure and you want a character to go over to a certain space and the character's like, no, I'm not going to do that, most of the time it's frustrating. LucasArts had some really great gags that did play with that conceit, but they're very limited, very limited. But if you've got a situation, say for example, and this is the concept, this is the proof of concept that I want to play with. Let's say, for example, you've got a gig economy supernatural investigation and elimination site called Booba, which is tricky because if you say it too quickly, instead of it being boo, it's boob, which is not the look I'm going for. And you've got one of these poor gig economy people in a room, and they've been hired, they're doing a gig, they're doing a job rather. Now apparently my words are disappearing. And they're doing a job for, let's say for example, a ghost search podcast. And there's a ghost in the next room, and the ghost sounds terrifying. And you're trying to get that person to go into that room. The equivalent of like a point and click adventure, like open the door, go in the room. And this person's like, no, I don't want to. There is a ghost in there. I'm not doing this. Because it's framed as a conversation, I think that could be interesting, potentially. So that's what I want to play with. And I want to see if I can start getting into some specificity around, with natural language understanding and with trying to catch certain phrases. And I think this is where a lot of the fine tuning would be beyond sort of broad brushstrokes. Can you tell reliably? Like, can you do enough work up front to be able to distinguish between a command versus a request, someone being threatened, someone being cajoled with the language that the user uses? I think that could be really fun. And I think that's an area where this stuff, where Alexa, I'm shaking my hand off screen at my Alexa Echo Dot, because of course that's what I'm doing. But that's where I think that there could be some really interesting potential here. So I want to play with that, because I have found that even with the basic proof of concepts around a point and click that I've done so far, it feels like a conversation. Like it feels really cool, and it feels really organic. So I want to see what's behind that. So that might be what I'm going to end up doing next week, because I want to start planning out this proof of concept, but I don't think I'm going to have the time to do it this week. All right, we're coming up on 10 minutes. This has been a long one, but it's been hopefully a good one. As always, if you are watching these videos and you're getting something out of them, I'd love to know. I've had a few folks tell me that they've been watching the videos and enjoying them, and it means the world to me, because a lot of the time I just feel like I'm rambling for my own sake, which is, part of what I'm doing here. But yeah, I'd love to know. Have a wonderful day, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you tomorrow.